Do you have a hard time figuring out what it is that you want to do with your life? Do you have a hard time feeling joy and being creative and having fun? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down where some of these rigid patterns of not allowing ourselves to enjoy our lives come from and how this impacts our ability to create the lives that we want. So stay tuned. My name is Adam. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before we get started, please take a second to like and subscribe, which you probably already know. Also, I'm doing free breakthrough calls. There's a link pinned in the comment section below. These are really phenomenal 30-minute calls where what we do is we go over your vision for your life, what's stopping you, what's blocking you, what's in your way, and some things you can do, steps you can take to really unravel everything so you can get into your power and have a good time. Now, joy, happiness, creativity, having fun, allowing, for very obvious and not so obvious reasons, these are things that a lot of people have a hard time doing and feeling. We are so used to being in trauma on this planet. We're so used to being in fight or flight, and we're so programmed from a very young age to just do shit, get it done, rigidity, structure, stop daydreaming, stop wasting time, that what we do is we tend to shut down the childlike, playful parts of ourselves that really are the ones that we want to let lead. If we don't let these parts lead, we live a life of servitude and misery. Now, that's not to say that we don't need structure, because obviously we do. If we get just lost in fantasy all day, every day on a couch, eating Pringles and smoking pot, wishing that we were movie stars, we're not going to get anywhere if we don't take the action steps too. But it is so common, I see, for people who want to create the lives that they want and have a hard time figuring out what that is, to not know because they've shut down these energies within themselves. Now, where does this come from? Where does it come from? What do we do about it? And how do we balance fantasy with reality, structure with intuition and creativity? Now, one of the places that you might want to look is obviously your childhood. It's always your childhood, but it could be many different places from your childhood. If you're having a hard time figuring out what you want to do, or if you're having a hard time having fun, where in your childhood was this not allowed? When you were playing, did someone come in and tell you you were doing the wrong thing? Did your mother or father at a young age start grooming you to be like perfect, the perfect person in social situations? Did you need to get straight A's, or you got in trouble? Were you punished if you were too loud because you were making a joke somewhere? Like, these are all reactions that we have as children to our structure that cause us to be like, oh no, I need to be obedient. I need to shut the fuck up, do what I'm told, and follow the herd. It starts very early on. It starts at home, and it starts in school. It starts in school. And I'm not saying it's not good to know how to be like quiet for periods 1 through 6 so that you can listen and learn, but it comes oftentimes at the expense of us being able to create. And we take this sort of structure and indoctrination very deeply personally, and we shut down our love. And we know that, like, if we don't behave a certain way, we're going to get in trouble. We internalize this and we get lost. So I would very strongly ask you, where did you develop your rigidity? When did you get in trouble for laughing? When did you get in trouble for having a good time? Who told you that daydreaming or fantasy was a waste of your energy? The truth is, without daydreaming, without fantasy, without free-floating creativity, you will never create anything that you want. You will only create what you're told to create, working for somebody else, because all ideas come from openness and they have a frequency to them. Your frequency of joy, your frequency of fun draws in ideas that relate and magnetically attract to that frequency. If you don't allow that in yourself, you're never going to figure out what you like to do, because you have a belief that you're not allowed to feel the way you want to feel, that the way you would feel doing what you love to do. There's no other way around it. Another place that this rigidity comes from is the society that we live in. We live in such a hyper obsessed self-development culture. Everything is just about getting it done. It's all about getting shit done. You got to be like perfectionism, which comes from religion. It comes from spirituality. It comes from self-development. It comes from a society that was programmed and developed specifically to work like slaves for other people. They didn't want free thinkers. They didn't want critical thinkers. They didn't want creators. They wanted you to show up at work every day from this time to this time and do what you were told for them. If you're too smart, if you're too much of an inventor, you're a liability to the matrix. So you were literally designed not to be creative. That's why there's no critical thinking whatsoever in school. They don't teach you how to think for yourself. They teach you how to memorize data, which is generally all incorrect, and spit it out on a test, and then you get a good boy or a good girl, you got an A for regurgitating what we told you was the truth when it wasn't. Do what the fuck we tell you. So look very deeply at your school programming, your childhood programming, and where your parents or your grandparents or your teachers or guides didn't allow you to have fun. Were you told you're not allowed to paint because people don't make money painting? You're not allowed to write songs, or it's stupid, or it's a waste of your time. These are all internalized belief systems that are going to close you down. Now, what do you do about this? What do we do to reemerge and rebirth our joy energy? Well, it is important to have structure. If you don't have structure, you'll never create anything. You'll never create the life that you want. You'll sit around and daydream in fantasy forever and you won't build it. But the thing is, a lot of times we don't build it because we're scared to take the actions to build what it is we want to do because of all that childhood programming about not being good enough and not being allowed to feel joy. So everything that we go to build is from this, I have to do this or I'm a horrible person. So none of it is fun and we're scared the entire time. So if you can start to give yourself permission to create, if you can start to give yourself permission to have fun, you can structure your day a little bit to have like a half hour where you just let your mind roam, where you just daydream, where you just ask the universe for ideas. What is it that you love to do? What did you love to do as a kid? What can you do today that's fun and outside the norm? One of the biggest points I can make here is a lot of time what is fun is just something that's different. It's new. We get stuck in these rote, repetitive thought patterns and behaviors of like, I gotta get up and do this, and then I have to go do this, and then I have to call this person, and then I have to finish my report, or I have for work. It's like even the things we like to do end up becoming rigid and repetitive. It's like, I have to go surfing today because I like going surfing, but then you don't because you're making yourself do it. This is the matrix. The matrix operates on you being predictable. So any little thing you can do to shake up your routine that's just different brings you into a state of newness. It brings you into a state of the right brain. It brings you into a state of creativity and starts to create new neural pathways, new habit patterns, new thoughts, beliefs, and frequencies. So give yourself permission every chance you can to do something new, to walk a different way to work, walk a different way home, read new books, take a new course. It can be very simple. Eat at a new restaurant, get a new dish. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just give yourself permission to play and to have fun. Fantasy and reality go together. To create the life you want to let yourself dream, let yourself see where your mind goes when there's no rules, no restriction. It's like The Great Gatsby. You just let it go and you see what comes to you, what keeps coming to you, what keeps calling to you. And then you take action step by step by step to build it. There are two choices in this world. You can do what you don't want to do in the direction of what you don't want to do for someone else, Or you can do some things that you don't want to do because life can be monotonous and mundane to an extent. You can do things you don't want to do in the direction of what you do want to do. The difference is immense. And you will have much more joy, much more fun, much more success doing that. Let me know what you think. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I have a free energy clearing in the description below. Other than that, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. Until next time, peace.